Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me for this week's talk. I'm going to be speaking about British food today. So we're going to have a look at some popular dishes from Britain, a little bit about the history of British food, some major influences from around the world. We can have a look at some national food and drink, desserts, and we're going to finish on some food idioms. So first of all, before we start, I'm just going to give you a little bit of vocabulary. So these are some words that you are going to hear throughout my presentation. So dish is the first word. So this is food that is prepared in a particular way as a whole. So my favourite English dish is sausage and mash. Cuisine. So this is food from a particular area or country. So French cuisine, Indian cuisine, English cuisine. Influence. So this is to have an effect on someone or something. So Indian cuisine has had an influence on British cuisine. And the last one is national. So this is relating to a characteristic of an area. So the national dish of Scotland is haggis. Okay, so we're going to move on to some popular dishes now, and we are going to do this in quiz style. So I'm going to show you a picture of a British dish, and I want you to just type into the chat box the name of this dish. So let's see who can get it first. All right, so this is the first picture. So what is this dish? Okay, correct. It is fish and chips. So this is still one of Britain and Ireland's favourite dishes. And it's a white fish, usually cod or haddock, which is deep fried in batter and usually served with chips and mushy peas. So there's hundreds of fish and chip restaurants all over the UK. So yeah, this is definitely one to try. All right, next one. So what is this dish? So type it into the chat box. All right, sausages and mash. Sausages or bangers and mash is another common British dish consisting of pork sausages and mashed potatoes, usually eaten with onion gravy. So the term bangers supposedly originated during World War I, when meat shortages resulted in sausages being made with a number of fillers. One of these was water. So it caused the sausages to explode when cooked, hence the term bangers. All right, next picture. So what is this dish? Okay, type it into the chat box. All right, so yeah, you got it. This is a full English breakfast, or sometimes known as a fry-up. So this is another popular dish consisting of everything you can see on this plate. So bacon, hash browns, sausages, baked beans, mushrooms, grilled tomato, egg, and toast. So many people believe the English eat this every morning, but usually only eaten a few times a year by the average person, especially as each serving has over 800 calories. All right, moving on to our next picture now. All right, so what is this dish? Okay, it is a Sunday roast. So this is a very popular traditional dish that is usually eaten on a Sunday and consists of a roasted meat. So we use lamb, beef, chicken or pork. And with it we have roasted potatoes, vegetables and gravy. So yeah, this is a really popular dish. Okay, we're going to move on to the last dish of this little quiz. So have a look at this and try and guess the name. It's quite difficult, this one. Okay, so this one is toad in the hole. So this popular dish consists of sausages cooked in a Yorkshire pudding batter that is oven baked. And usually it's served with gravy and vegetables. So the origin of this name is unclear, but many refer to the way toads or large frogs wait for their prey, making their heads visible in the earth, just like the sausages you can see here that peep through the batter. Okay, all right, well done everyone. I think a lot of you got a lot of those right. So we're going to move on now to a little bit of history of British cuisine. So after the war, there was a lack of fresh food in the UK. Tinned food, convenience food, was very popular in the 1950s and 60s. So we took a lot of tinned food from America, including this one here, Popeye spinach, and this one here that you probably recognise, Heinz. So these Heinz baked beans, which we still cook today. So beans on toast is a very popular dish. It's very cheap, it's filling, tasty, and really easy to make. So it's a really, really good snack that we still eat today. And then in the 1970s, we began to see influences from other countries, and Nouvelle Cuisine became very popular in the UK. So Nouvelle Cuisine, originating in France, is a modern style of cooking, emphasizing the freshness of the ingredients and the presentation of the dishes. So this dish here is a prawn cocktail, and is a dish served usually in a glass dish with prawns and a cocktail sauce and a salad. This was a classic retro dish which was often served at dinner parties in the 1970s. And then in the 80s and 90s, the microwave became very popular in Britain, and ready meals like this one here were eaten. We also called these TV dinners or frozen meals. Really unhealthy food with a lack of nutrients. Okay, and then by the late 90s, people started eating out a lot more. So there are a lot more restaurants cropping up in the UK. And places like gastropubs became quite popular. So gastropub is a pub that specialises in serving high quality food. And we also call this pub grub. And then most recently, on-demand food delivery has become really popular. So apps such as Uber Eats and Deliveroo are widely used around the UK. So you download the app, you choose the cuisine that you want, and then the food gets delivered to your home. So yeah, these have become really popular, especially in the last couple of years. Okay, so let's have a look at some major influences on British cuisine. So here in Britain, we love our international food. So here are some of our top foods from around the world. So America, the USA, McDonald's, burger and chips, really, really popular in the UK. Thousands of McDonald's restaurants all over, and yeah, they're eaten daily, and they're also quite cheap foods as well. In India, we love our curries in the UK. We'll have a talk a little bit about that later. But this dish here, this curry, is called chicken tikka masala, and it's eaten a lot in the UK. And other foods, in France, we eat a lot of cheese in the UK. There's a lot of cheese imported from France over to the UK. So yeah, we love our cheese. We love our cheese boards. You can find these as well in a lot of pubs. In China, we've got a lot of Chinese takeaways, lots of Chinese restaurants. And this dish here, sweet and sour chicken or pork, is a really popular dish. Italy, we love our pasta. So yeah, like spaghetti bolognese, lasagna, we eat a lot of. There's also a lot of Italian restaurants as well in the UK. Turkish food, we have a lot of takeaway kebab restaurants in the UK. So chicken kebab, lamb kebab is widely eaten here. And then one of my favourites, Thai food. A lot of restaurants in the UK, Thai restaurants. This is one of my favourite dishes, green Thai chicken curry. Okay, so we're going to have a look at some national food and drink now. So let's start up in Scotland. So this here, this is haggis, and this is the national dish of Scotland. It's a savoury pudding containing sheep's heart, liver and lungs, minced with spices, onions and stock. So although this doesn't sound like a very appealing dish, haggis has an excellent texture and a really delicious flavour. So if you go to Scotland, you have to try haggis. The next drink is from Scotland. So this is whiskey, with a history going back as far as the 11th century. Scottish whiskey, also known as Scotch, is an important part of Scotland's identity. To be officially classed as Scotch whiskey in Scotland, the whiskey has to be matured in oak casks for a minimum of 3 years. Otherwise, by law, it's not a real Scotch whiskey. Okay, so let's move over to Ireland now. Potatoes are really popular in Ireland, and this dish here is called champ, and it's made from mashed potatoes, spring onion, and lots of butter. Next up is one of the world's most successful beer brands from Ireland. I wonder if you can guess what it is. All right, Guinness. So Guinness is a dark Irish stout originating from Dublin in Ireland. And here's a little fact about Guinness. It takes 119.5 seconds to pour the perfect pint. So there you go. If you go into a pub, make sure that they spend 119.5 seconds pouring this pint for you. Otherwise, yeah, don't drink it. All right, moving over to Wales. So there's a lot of lamb which is eaten in Wales, and this dish here is called cawl, and it's a lamb stew that is made with vegetables and is really comforting, often eaten in the winter. All right, and lastly, curry. So believe it or not, curry is the national dish of England and the UK. There are more than 9,000 Indian restaurants in the UK. So when you come over, or if you're here at the moment, you have to try an Indian curry. It's one of my favourite cuisines. And yeah, you can get really mild curries or really hot, spicy curries. So you must try a curry here if you're in the UK. So let's move on now to desserts. So you may have heard the word dessert and also pudding. So it's a little bit confusing. So which one do you use? So a dessert is always a sweet dish served usually cold, whereas a pudding is a sweet dish that is usually served hot, which has been baked or steamed. But a pudding can also be both savoury or sweet. So, steak and kidney pudding, which is a steamed meat pie, and a Yorkshire pudding, which is a batter, are both savoury. But a sticky toffee pudding or a rice pudding is definitely sweet. So now you know the difference between dessert and pudding. So let's have a look at some popular British desserts and puddings. So Knickerbocker Glory, oof, look at this. So this is a dessert of childhood dreams. It was very popular in the 1980s. And it's a layered ice cream sundae served in a tall glass. Delicious. Next one is a sticky toffee pudding. So we've all eaten this one before, and apparently it's one of Kate Middleton's favourite puddings. So there you go. Next up is jelly. So wobbly jelly, very, very popular with kids. Eaten a lot at kids' birthday parties and usually eaten with ice cream. And the next one, fruit crumble. So this classic pudding, it's usually enjoyed in the winter as it's so comforting and warming. And it's made from fruit such as rhubarb or apple, and then it's baked in the oven with a crumble crisp topping. It's absolutely delicious, this one. Quite often it's served with custard. So you can see that on the side here. Custard is a vanilla sauce. So yeah, really good, really warming. And lastly, a trifle. You've probably seen this one. So this is a very traditional English dessert made from sponge cake, custard, jelly, cream and berries. Very, very sweet dessert, this one. Brits have enjoyed this dessert for over 300 years. So yeah, it's a very traditional dessert. Okay, and we're going to come on to this now. If there's one thing I urge you to try, it's Marmite. So this is a savoury spread made from yeast extract. It's a very sticky, dark black paste with a very distinctive, powerful flavour that is extremely salty. So we usually spread this on our toast for breakfast in the mornings, but there are many, many ways to use it. So, Marmite, love it or hate it? Which side are you on? So, love or hate comes from a very divided nation due to its acquired taste. So, people either love it or they hate it, and this is represented in its marketing slogan and advertising campaigns. So have a look at this TV commercial from 2008. You're going to like this.
Sorry about the mess.
It's nice.
Oh, coffee.
Please.
Okay, so Marmite, yeah, have to try Marmite if you're here, and let me know if you are a lover or a hater. All right, everyone. So we're going to end on some food idioms. So there's hundreds of idioms connected to food. I'm going to talk to you here about 3 of them. So the first one is bring home the bacon. So this means to earn an income or achieve financial support for those at home. So for example, I have to go to work as it brings home the bacon. All right, the next one is butter someone up. This is one of my favorites. So this means to be extra nice to someone in order to get something from them. So Alice is good at buttering up her superiors, and that's how she mostly gets promoted. And the last one, you probably heard this one, don't cry over spilt milk. So this means to get upset over something that has happened and cannot be changed. So it's no use crying over spilt milk. It was a bad investment. The money has been lost and there's nothing we can do. All right, so that's just a few of my favorite food idioms. You can find hundreds of food idioms if you go through to this link down here, and you can brush up on your food idioms. Right, everyone, so that is all from me. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. And just a reminder that I am doing a CS cookery class every week on Facebook and Instagram. So each week I've been cooking a dish for you guys to try at home. So I hope you can watch my weekly classes and join in, and please send me any pictures of your dishes that you complete. So enjoy, everyone, and thanks again for listening. It's been a pleasure speaking to you today. See you later. Bye.